Has this ever happened to you? Weeks and weeks, you've been planning with the boys to get together for an awesome game of Dungeons and Dragons. And finally, when the day arrives, they hit you with the old switcheroo. They want to play Magic the Gathering instead, despite the fact you've been practicing all your funny voices. Well, you're in the right place because 3,000 of you guys wanted me to build a deck where you're the Dungeon Master, making everyone else at the table play some D&D with you. And I don't want to pat myself on the back too early, but I absolutely cooked with this deck. Now, before we can hop right in, if you can't tell, I'm the most unhinged deck builder on the internet. So if you've got weird, wacky, silly, goofy ideas for a deck, challenge me in the comments down below. The one with the most upvotes, I have to build. And while you're down there, hey, leave a like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Now let's journey forth, intrepid heroes, because our commander is Riku of many paths. Green, blue, red for a 3/3 human wizard that says whenever you cast a modal spell, choose up to X, where X is the number of times you chose a mode for that spell. He's the only commander that cares about choices and modal spells, and it's really cool. So when we come across a trolley problem of a card, we can get a bird, we can get creatine for our commander, or we can get half of a reckless impulse and exile the top card and we can cast it if we want. Or if we chose multiple modes, we get to have 2 or 3 of them. It's really solid. But what are the choices that we're going to make? Well, obviously, this is where I started to cook like a genius because there's a Dungeons and Dragons Adventure in the Forgotten Realms set in Magic the Gathering. It just makes perfect sense with cards like you meet in a tavern where you can pick forming a party or starting a brawl. And you say it, hey, you meet in a tavern. And the best part is you can just make your opponents pick one. Hey, do you want to form a party or do you want to start a brawl? Because you don't want to railroad them. You're a good dungeon master. Now, of course, for ultimate fun, I did this to my Twitch chat over on twitch.tv/Quips&Guac_. That's right. Shameless plug. But basically, I'm going to give you the 1-minute highlights of how things went because it was wild and goofy. We meet in a tavern. Do we form a party or do we start a brawl? It is looking like an overwhelming amount of people want to start a brawl in the tavern. You look upon the Tarrasque. What do we want to do? Grabs like half the town and just run. And then it's like, and suddenly all the fucking, it's me, Levi. Apologies if you got jump scared by my handsome face in a wizard outfit, but back to business, because we're running all the good spells. You see a guard approach. You come to a river. You see a pair of mind goblins. You happen upon a glade. You find the villain's lair. You look upon the Tarrasque. There's also, you find some prisoners. You come to the Knoll camp. You've been caught stealing, and you find a cursed idol. What do all the techs do? You let your opponents decide. It doesn't matter because you're getting a lot of 1/1 flying birds. And birds are awesome. And let's be real, Dungeons and Dragons, it's all about the dungeons after all. So we've got Baldur's Gate Wilderness, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, Lost Mine of Phandelver, Tomb of Annihilation, and the Undercity, which is the gold star one. This one's the best, which is why we have Caves of Chaos Adventurer, who takes the initiative, Undermountain Adventurer, who takes the initiative, Tomb of Horrors Adventurer, who ironically doesn't go into the Tomb of Horrors, but takes the initiative anyway. All of them are really strong once we've completed a dungeon, and we have a lot of other ways to complete dungeons, like Eccentric Apprentice, who we kissed on stream. 2 and a blue, you venture into the dungeon. So this guy goes into a room, and then you can make things into birds. This guy basically lets you turn your opponent's big boy into a bird boy, and I like that. Find the Path is good. You go into the dungeon, and you get to ramp. What's not to like? Loot Dispute is also really good because you can speed run the dungeons, you get dragons, and you also get money. What's not to like? Now, of course, those are just some decisions you could be making. It's a 2-sided coin. I told you this deck is cooking, which is why we want our players to vote with Círdan the Shipwright. He's 3 and Simic. When this guy attacks, basically you get a boat and you fill it with free stuff, either permanents onto the battlefield or drawing cards. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can pause and read it. There's also Elrond of the White Council, who says, hey, either you give me your stuff or my stuff gets really strong. My birds, most likely, because you put a +1 counter on each creature. Yikes. You have a lot of birds. Now they're 2/2 birds, 3/3 birds, etc., etc. Really good. Mob Verdict. Best, most fun card ever in the game ever. Everybody secretly votes for another player. Then you do a bunch of damage to them. And if they vote for you, you just draw cards. It's perfect. Do you hear the people sing? Truth or Consequences is basically just the same thing as Mob Verdict, so it's really good and fun. Singing the song of angry men. Anyway, moving on. Let's be real. Dungeons and Dragons is obviously about quests. We want to go on quests. So we've got Great Train Heist. Isn't that a cool thing? Your players want to go on a heist. You also get a lot of combat. Really cool. There's Jailbreak Scheme. Your players want to break out of jail. It's good. Then there's Explore the Underdark. Another awesome option for your players to go down. And by players, I mean your opponents. And you get land. There's also Trash the Town, the most likely thing in any regular game of Dungeons and Dragons. Everyone's just going to trash the town, steal from the people who sell magic items, etc., etc. It's good. But notice how modal all those spells were. That's right. I'm a big brain. Now, of course, let's be real. Dungeons and Dragons is actually all about winning. Everyone knows you can win Dungeons and Dragons. So how do we win with this deck? Well, birds, obviously. Just kidding. Riku of Many Paths. You use him behind the Dungeon Master screen to make a ton of birds, like an absurd amount of birds, okay? Then you use Tectonic Giant. This guy does 3 damage when he attacks, which is really good because Sakashima's Will, another modal spell, my goodness, I'm a genius, can have your creatures become copies of him. So basically those birds, they're now Tectonic Giants. And when they attack, they do 3 damage to each opponent. And if you have like 5 birds, that's 15 damage to each opponent. My God, they're dead, basically. And they're also 3/4s and really strong and awesome and just cool. There's also Baylors you can turn them into. So that way, when they deal combat damage to target opponent equal to the whatever, read the text, I don't care. Caves of Chaos Adventurer is also really strong because theoretically, you do the Sakashima thing. Then you've already completed a dungeon. Then you can play like 5 cards from the top of your library without paying its mana cost. Insane. Then, of course, what more do you want? Let's be real. Dungeons and Dragons is all about the dragons. So we have the Tarask. It's 9 mana. It's a 10/10. When it attacks, it fights something. I don't care. It's awesome. It's the final boss. But let's be real. Dungeons and Dragons isn't about the dungeons or the dragons. It's about the dice. Will's Reversal, the better version of Deflecting Swat because it's got dice. Component Pouch, better Soul Ring because it's got dice. Wand of Wonder, better Atali because we get dice. Spellbook of a Wizard, better dice. Chaos Dragon, better dragon dice. They all play a critical role in the deck. Say that again. Am I right? But that's the end of the video. If you like to leave a like, if you subscribe, Shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You should see all their names going. If you want to see your name on there, hey, you know where to find it. You just go on the Patreon. It's linked below. It's pretty sweet. Speaking of linked below, I got a Discord. It's fun and free and awesome and linked below. Easy enough. And while you're down there in the link zone, you can go on over to the comments and say, hey, what a great deck. And also comment what you want me to build next because this was fun and I'm a freak. And check out the Twitch. I'll see you later. Peace out.